You know, it's often been said behind the scenes that this sort of, how can we put it nicely, that Meghan Markle does take revenge on people that literally cross her. Many of us would agree that there's a certain aspect to Meghan Markle's personality that the kids today really, chums, call the mean girl, you know? The sort of person that, well, if you don't agree with her, she can get very angry very quickly. And I think what's interesting also, we saw this, well, working without a shadow of a doubt, the way that she ignored Sophie Chanduka at that polo match when she was walking past with Serena Williams. Totally ungrateful, given the fact that this wasn't her event, but she'd hijacked it alongside, of course, Serena, and basically was ignoring the person that had done all the hard work and put it together. And then when it backfired, forced her husband to try and, well, force Sophie to say there was no problem. You can understand how this really took off, can't you? What's interesting though is, quite frankly, when you look at Meghan Markle, the background to her and the way she operates is still very strong today, even though her popularity is somewhat very much diminished. Behind the scenes though, people seemingly are still frightened to cross her. As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today in the very heart of London. Hope you're keeping well, whatever you're doing. We'll have a lovely wave. Nice to see you. Now, it's interesting, as I said, because we've all had people like that, haven't we? You know, the sort of people in the workplace where you go in and they just bring a cloud, and you know if you say the wrong thing, they're going to start some sort of campaign against you of, oh, he was snappy or he was rude, or, you know. I had a colleague actually working for a big company recently, and they reported him because apparently he'd said hello, and this, you know, my colleague hadn't said hello back, and that was a snub. And you think, really, is this all you've got to bother about? But this is exactly how these people operate. You see, Meghan Markle, as we know, did not take too kindly to the fact that the actress Brooke Shields literally, well, decided to interject and point out what she was doing when she was 11 years old. Meghan, nobody steals the spotlight from her. And suddenly, poor Brooke had such a backlash against what she said, which was just a fun throwaway remark, and suddenly, no, she's not allowed to have any humour. And the bottom line was that she was forced to take the clip down when she reiterated it in a podcast. You get the picture. It's childish, isn't it? But I mean, these people, particularly Meghan now being in her mid-40s, you'd think you'd grow up. Now, here's the story behind this, because truly, when you explain this to you, you'll understand exactly why people are, some people might suggest, slightly terrified. Now, as we know, Pamela Anderson alongside Liam Neeson are back with a very funny comedy, a rather risque comedy for this, you know, climate, I would say, which is Naked Gun. Who remembers that from the 80s? Brilliant, right? Now, of course, Leslie Nielsen was the star. Liam Neeson now has taken it over. Pamela Anderson plays that wonderful role alongside him. She was asked, though, recently on a chat show, you know, whether she was offended, upset, what did she think of the fact that Meghan Markle clearly had copied dot for dot Cooking with Pamela. Now, if you see both series, you can see exactly the inspiration. Now, here's where this gets really interesting, and it's pivotal to the story. You see, obviously, what the host was trying to do, Andy Cohen, and I've told you about him before, he very much likes to stoke the fire, right? But the bottom line was, he was asking, you know, well, what do you think? And she, as ever, and I've met Pam on a number of occasions, lovely lady, very down to earth, said, oh, I didn't really invent the cooking show. You know, she's doing her thing. I'm, you know, very sort of passé about it, really. And the reason behind that is simply this. There's two things. You see, very easily she could have got into great detail and said, well, yeah, I did notice the fact that the kitchen was similar, the backgrounds were similar, the ideas, everything. But the people behind the movie do not want Pam to get into a spat with Meghan Markle simply because they want the movie to be a success. Now, what you would get if you crossed her would be lots of the supporters going online saying the movie's a dud, she's not funny, why is she makeup free? Do you see what I mean? This is how these people truly operate. Now, if you were to approach Meghan Markle and say this, she'd say, well, you know, I don't know anything about that, blah, blah, blah. But she wouldn't, of course, go online and say, went to see Naked Gun, Pamela's great, Liam Neeson, laugh out loud, wouldn't support you the other way. And remember, as I said, this is a woman who clearly has been inspired by a lot of Pamela Anderson's cooking show. And as I said at the start of the video, Brooke Shields literally was bullied into taking that particular piece down, whichever way you look at it. Consequently, when you also think about it, if a big film company like who are putting Naked Gun together feel that, well, Meghan's wrath should not be crossed, where does it all end? Neil Shawn, Kensington, London.